We're here at General Motors Place in Vancouver, British Columbia. Welcome to the opening round of the Stanley Cup Playoffs. I'm Jim Houston along with Craig Simpson. Tonight we've got Game 6 of the Western Conference quarterfinal between the Vancouver Canucks and the St. Louis Blues. Vancouver can't afford any mistakes here tonight. A loss at home and it's all over.
Well, this team has to keep it simple. They can't get caught up in the bigger picture. Jim, I know it's a cliche, but they really do have to take it one game at a time.
Here's a look at tonight's official.
Jim, he's been around a number of years and calls the game by the book. When it comes to stick work, he's a little bit more lenient, but in general, he calls a pretty tight hockey game.
Morrison wins the faceoff. Wrist shot by Bertuzzi. Brings it out. Into the attacking zone. Knocked over.
A punishing hit.
Brings it out. Over the blue line. Delayed call against Vancouver. Morrison will serve time for hooking. And you can see the coach is having a word with the official about that last call. St. Louis will try and take advantage of a penalty here.
Well, we haven't seen the power play yet tonight, but we know they're going to be a handful.
They've got great skill on that first unit. Out of their defensive end. Vancouver just dumps the puck in. Over the line. Saved by Kluche. Flattened. That was huge. Salo lays him out. St. Louis makes the line change. Vancouver under attack in its own end of the ring. Delayed penalty coming up for St. Louis. Jackman gets called for interference.
That was a good call, Jim. That deserves 2 minutes in the box.
And you can see the coach is having a word with the official because he's not happy about that call. And the faceoff is won by Waite. In over the line. Thrashed.
That was rock solid.
Brings it out. Into the attacking zone. Flattened.
You could feel that one up in the booth.
Brings it out. Over the blue line. He gets bowled over by Naslin. Out of their defensive end. Over the line. Morrison comes out of the box as his penalty expires, meaning his team's now on the power play.
Oh, did you see that? He got utterly pasted there.
They're getting ready for the faceoff. Vancouver gets the draw. Circling the net. Saved by Lalim. He hangs on. The ref is ready to drop the puck. Morrison won the draw. Pass. Sokol scores!
Persistence, Jim. They kept whacking at the rebound until one finally went in.
St. Louis is facing an early setback.
The pace of this game has to be a surprise for them. Need to make some quick adjustments.
Across. Brings it out. Over. In over the line. Right in front. Run over.
That was a monster of a hit.
Kluche freezes the puck. The puck is about to be dropped. The faceoff goes to Vancouver. Out of their defensive end. Into the attacking zone. Taken out.
Now that's a big hit.
And out they come with a puck. Over the blue line. One-timer. Missed the net. Behind the net.
Hit. That was a big hit.
Brings it out. Over the line. Checked.
A textbook body check, Jim.
McInnes brings it out. Into the attacking zone. Flattened.
Terrific physical play.
Moved across. Over the blue line. He gets out-muscled by Weinrich. In front. Great save! Brings it out. Over the line. Jovanovski works him over. St. Louis puts its second line out of their defensive end. Into the attacking zone. Lalline made the save. Savage over the blue line. Pushed aside by Kluche. Boganecki, one time. He missed. Brings it out. In over the line. He gets mowed over.
He really took it to him.
Brings it out. Moved up. Over the line. Just wide of the net. Out of their defensive end. Over the blue line. Shove.
That's gonna leave a mark.
Run over.
Thundering hit.
Sillinger. Into the attacking zone. Big hit.
He's seeing double now.
Brings it out. In over the line. He gets checked by Boganecki.
Sent him sprawling.
Vancouver makes a line change. In front. Wrist shot. Kluche covers up for the whistle. This guy doesn't give shooters much when he goes down, does he?
No, he gets awful big in goal. He can still be beat, but it has to be a perfect shot. That's the challenge against him.
Morrison wins the faceoff. Brings it out. Over the blue line. He gets worked over by Havanov. It's a scramble. A shot from the slot by Bertuzzi. Over the line. He gets laid out by Jovanovski. Moved ahead. Brings it out. In over the line. He gets checked by Waite. Delayed penalty coming up for St. Louis. Waite will go to the box for charging.
I think he's a little surprised at getting the 2-minute minor.
Vancouver has one power play goal already, and they'll get a second opportunity here. St. Louis wins the faceoff. Out of their defensive end. Into the attacking zone. Johnson shoots the puck. He misses. Brings it out. Over the line. Passed over. Goaltender stopped that.
Hit! Knocked him right off the play.
Over. Brings it out. St. Louis Blues are on a line change. Shoved. In front. Awesome save! Flashed. A shot from the slot by Tkachuk. Taken out.
He got rocked right there.
Over the blue line. Lalline reached out for the puck. We've reached the midway mark of the penalty, and they haven't been able to generate a whole... Ooh, look out! Big hit behind the net. Moved over. Into the attacking zone. Linden gets knocked down.
They felt that hit in the rafters.
With a wrist shot. Quick puck movement. He gets leveled by Pronger.
Finished that one with a bang.
St. Louis is under relentless pressure. In over the line. He gets run over by Linden. Brings it out. Over the line. Pronger checks him.
Great body work so far.
Over the blue line. Vancouver is now 1 for 2 with the man advantage as the penalty expires. Passed across. Brings it out. Into the attacking zone. Shoved.
That's what we came to see.
St. Louis Blues are on a line change. Right in front. Leg save. Brings it out. Over the line. Morrison corrals the puck. Scramble in front. Lalline covers up. Vancouver is like a blue-collar team. Hustle for every loose puck. They check like demons.
I used to hate playing against teams like this because they're just so relentless. They don't know what quit means.
Get a shot. Lalline denies him. Across. Over the blue line. He gets pushed by Allen. Naslund. In over the line. He gets checked by Weinrich. Brings it out. Into the attacking zone. He gets taken out by Allen. Goes behind his net. Out of their defensive end. End to end. Knocked down.
Now that one was worth watching.
Flattened.
That's some heavy action.
Lalime hangs on for the whistle. The players are lining up at the face-off circle. And the Blues get the draw. Brings it out. Over the line. Hard wrist shot by Boganecki. Kluche hangs on for the whistle. Now you talk about great defensemen in this league, and this guy really makes it all happen at the back end.
Jim, he's like a catalyst out there, consistently feeding forwards with breakout passes. And hey, I say he wouldn't hesitate to jump up in the rush.
Over the blue line. Weinrich picks off the puck. Over. Quick pass up. In over the line. Crushed.
What a hit!
Into the attacking zone. He gets level.
Jim, that's how you earn respect in this game.
Brushinski missed the net. Out of their defensive end. Coast to coast. Bumped off the puck. Brings it out. Over the blue line. Hard one-timer.
No chance there.
Brings it out. Over the line. Thrashed. Out of their defensive end. Into the attacking zone. Pushed off the puck. Sillinger moves it ahead. Brings it out. In over the line. Hip checked. Bowled over. Brings it out. Over the blue line. Nice move there by Bertuzzi. Lalime denies him. Over the line. He gets out-muscled by Sillinger. And time winds down as the first period comes to an end with the score 1-0. It was a competitive first period as we get ready to start the second. The action's about to start. Morrison won the draw. Passed up to the neutral zone. Into the attacking zone. Run over. Brings it out. In over the line. He gets roughed up.
A solid check.
Over the blue line. Flattened. Kachuk brings it out. Over the line. Mowed down.
He just got run over.
Played over. Passed across. Into the attacking zone. Quick shot from the slot by Waite. Brings it out. In over the line. Passed over. Shoots the puck. Pad save. Laid out. Intercepted. Lalime denied him. He gets hammered by Naslin.
Ran him down.
Over the blue line. Checked.
That one took him right out of the play.
Over the line. Knocked down. Brings it out. Into the attacking zone. Played over by Allen. Shot quickly by Rushinsky. He misses. Across. In over the line. Mellenby rips a shot. Moved ahead. Out of their defensive end. Over the blue line. Rushinsky shoots. Passed ahead. Over the line. He gets laid out by Malik. Across. Over center. Pushed. Brings it out. That's an offside call against St. Louis.
Jim, this is an emotional game, but right now the coach has to be feeling the heat for that missed call.
And you can see the reason for his argument. We're ready for the face-off. Face-off won by Morrison. Shoved. In over the line. Brings it out. Coast to coast. Rubbed off the puck by Naslin. He gets rocked by Jovanovski. Passed across. Over the line. Over the blue line. In front. Pad saved by Kluche. In over the line. Muscled off the puck. Mellenby moves it ahead. Into the attacking zone. He gets run over by Bertuzzi. Played up. Brings it out. Over the line. Morrison, hard shot. Out of their defensive end. Over the blue line. He gets hit by Keane.
Lined him up and knocked him down.
Brings it out. In over the line. He gets pushed by Waite. Brings it out. Passed over. Over the line. Out of their defensive end. Into the attacking zone.
Wrist shot. Completely off target.
Brings it out. Coast to coast. It's moved over by Allen. Scores! 18,000 referees in the stands call a penalty. The two that count will not.
From the backhand to the back of the net in one smooth motion. Goalie had no chance on that shot.
St. Louis can't be happy about a two-goal deficit.
Well, they shouldn't be. They should be angry and use that anger to raise their game.
He gets worked over by Salvador. Played over. Over the blue line. Flattened. Mellenby brings it out. In over the line. Pass to the point. Right in front. Played back. Tkachuk shoots the puck. Kluche made the save. Over the line. He gets shoved by Weinrich. Pass to the slot. Turned aside by Lalime. He freezes the puck. The Canucks have applied tremendous pressure almost from the outset.
And they're winning all the battles for loose pucks, and it's created a lot of chances. The hard work is paying off in the scoreboard.
And the faceoff is won by Sillinger. Out of their defensive end. Into the attacking zone. Cranks one. Bertuzzi brings it out. In over the line. Morrison shoots the puck. Brings it out. Over the line. Crushed. Sillinger cranks it. Turned away. Out of their defensive end. Over the blue line. Knocked him off the puck. Brings it out. Into the attacking zone. Brings it out. In over the line. Mowed down. Out of their defensive end. He gets taken out by Jovanovski.
Shook him up and took him down.
Thrashed. Brings it out. Over the blue line. Moved over by Tkachuk. In front. Quick shot by Sillinger. Brings it out. Into the attacking zone. Moved across by McInnes. Out of their defensive end. Over the line. Tkachuk fires hard. Kluche slams the door shut. The Canucks seem to play this game with a chip on their shoulder.
Yeah, they're a big, aggressive team that tries to intimidate. If you shy away, hey, they've won the battle. You have to stand your ground.
Morrison wins the faceoff. Brings it out. Over the blue line. Vancouver will be sending a man to the dressing room after that play.
Well, with any luck, he'll be all right.
Let's hope so. He may be back, but right now he's off to the dressing room.
He looks like he's in a lot of pain, Jim.
The players are lined up and ready for the faceoff. St. Louis wins the faceoff. Mellenby now has the puck. Cannonading shot. Kluche reached out for the puck. Brings it out. In over the line. Shove. Centers it. In front. Out of their defensive end. Into the attacking zone. Level. He hangs on to the puck. Now, just because he hasn't been a head coach before doesn't mean this guy hasn't been around the game for a long, long time.
No, Jim, Mike Kitchen spent 9 seasons.
Wait, scores on a great individual effort.
Now let's take a look at that one on the replay, Jim. Look at how well he executes the wrister to find the back of the net. What a beauty!
suddenly their lead is in real jeopardy.
Lots of time to play with only a single goal advantage. I wouldn't be relaxing just yet if I were them.
Over the line. Played across by Bertuzzi. Quick shot. Goes behind his net. Brings it out. Passed across. Mowed down. Quick puck movement. Brings it out. Offside, Vancouver. They're getting ready for the faceoff. The faceoff goes to the Blues. Over the blue line. Shoved. Long pass. Out of their defensive end. Into the attacking zone. Checked. In front. The door is shut by Lalim. Brings it out. In over the line. Moved back by Salvador. A shot from the slot by Mellenby. Kluche with an awesome save. Bertuzzi shoved. Right in front. Turned away by Lalim. He covers up. It didn't take this guy too many tries to put one in the back of the net.
Well, if you want to be valuable to your team's offense, you've got to focus on getting your shot off quickly and as often as you can.
The faceoff goes to St. Louis. Over the blue line. Over the line. Rocked. Moved over, out of their defensive end. Into the attacking zone. Shoved. Hit. Brings it out. In over the line. He gets laid out by Jackman.
No mercy on that play.
Lalim hangs on for the whistle. This player will be able to add one more to his point total.
When he connected on that goal earlier, his face lit right up. Now he's found his stride. Let's see what else he comes up with.
The ref is signaling for the faceoff. Sillinger won the faceoff. Rocked. Brings it out. Over the line. Flattened. He got laid out. The horn signals the end of the second. 2-1 the score as we head for the intermission. It's time for the third period.
With a score like this, you can expect both teams to try to crank it up.
The faceoff goes to the Blues. Henrik Sedin pushes him. Leveled. Out of their defensive end. Into the attacking zone. Moved across. Knocked down. In the corner. Lalim with a huge save. Brings it out. Over the blue line. Saved by Kluche. Brings it out. In over the line. Moved up, out of their defensive end. Over the line. Shoved. One times it. Scores!
Tough to stop a shot like that, Jim. The release is so fast, the goalie isn't sure where it's coming from.
They're off to a great start here in the third.
Couldn't have gone any better, Jim. They've tied the game. They've got lots of time to get another one.
Huge shot by Waite. Brings it out. Over the blue line. Goes behind his net. Brings it out. Into the attacking zone. In the corner. Right in front. Big save. Out of their defensive end. Over the line. Brings it out. A lateral pass. Into the attacking zone. Shoots the puck. He misses. Brings it out. In over the line. He gets bowled over by Jackman. Lalim covers up for the whistle. Brushinski has size, strength, and determination. What more could you ask for?
Well, this guy's a true power forward. He's almost impossible to contain once he decides to drive to the net.
Out of their defensive end. Over the line. Checked. Brings it out. Over the blue line. Shot from the wing by Sedin. Passed across. Brings it out. Into the attacking zone. He gets shoved. Out of their defensive end. In over the line. Quick pass up. He gets hammered by Sopel.
He slammed him big time.
Flattened. Over the line. Bowled over.
Very impressive.
Brings it out. Over the blue line. McInnes levels him.
Sends him down.
Brings it out. Into the attacking zone. Turned aside by Kluche. Out of their defensive end. Thrashed. Over the line. Shoved. Passed over. In front. Lalime makes the pad save. He gets rocked by Millenby. The Canucks go offside.
Holy cow, he got his bell rung on that one. That was a big hit.
About to drop the puck. Wait, won the draw. Over center. Moved over. Leveled.
That came harder than expected.
Millenby
Hit. That'll keep them on their heels.
brings it out. Into the attacking zone. Goaltender stopped that. Wait. Out of their defensive end. Over the blue line. Right in front. Brings it out. In over the line. He gets run over by Jackman.
He took him down.
Sent flying.
Bumped him that time.
Brings it out. Into the attacking zone. Passed ahead. Out of their defensive end. Over the blue line. The ref indicates a delayed call. Henrik Sedin corrals the puck. Leg save by Lalime. Salvador is going to the box for interference.
His man was nowhere near the puck. That makes it interference. Good call by the official.
You can see that coach isn't too happy about the call. Vancouver has converted once already, and they're getting another power play chance here. The faceoff goes to the Blues. Brings it out. Over the line. He gets hit by Jovanovski.
Lines him up and sends him down.
Over, brings it out. In over the line. He gets hit by Pronger.
Sends him packing.
Linden, one-timer. Round the back. Bumped by Havanoff. Out of their defensive end. Coast to coast. Laid out.
He took a big-time check.
Linden over the blue line. Thrashed.
Stopped in his tracks.
Played across. Brings it out. Over the line. There's a minute gone by on this current man. Shot. Saved by Kluche. In over the line. He gets bowled over by Havanoff. Into the attacking zone. Intercepted in the slot by Drake. Out of their defensive end. Henrik Sedin feathered it. Wrist shot by Linden. Blocked. Gets away a hard shot.
Way off target.
Drake controls the puck. Brings it out. Over the blue line. Shoved. With a one-timer. Vancouver couldn't strike with a man advantage. Now they're 1 for 3 in the game. Brings it out. Over the line. Knocked over. Henrik Sedin out of their defensive end. In over the line. Right in front. Shoots quickly. Lalime covers up. The Blues are one of the hardest working teams in this league.
Hey, whether they're up 9 goals or down 9, they're still relentless on the puck. They never take a shift off.
The ref is ready to drop the puck. Face-off won by Waite. Brings it out. Over the blue line. Kluche got a pad on it. Brings it out. Over the line. Rubbed off the puck by Jackman. In front. He gets knocked down. Out of their defensive end. Into the attacking zone. Mellenby. Blocked. Kachuk with a wrist shot.
He'll have to do better than that.
A lateral pass. Over the blue line. Kluche turned him away. Rubbed off the puck. Savage grabbed it. One-time shot. Missed the net. Boganecki shoots the puck. Savage gets checked. Brings it out. Over the line. He gets rocked by Sillinger. Brings it out. In over the line.
He burned him with that move.
Out of their defensive end. Quick puck movement into the attacking zone. Bumped off the puck. Brings it out. Over the blue line. He gets run over by Nielsen. Brings it out. In over the line. Wrist shot. Saved by Lalim. Quick pass up. Out of their defensive end. Over the line. Checked. Across. Into the attacking zone. Fired it hard. Right in front. Huge save. He hangs on. They're getting ready for the face-off. Wait, wins the face-off. Passed over. Brings it out. Over the blue line. He gets rocked up by Jovanovski. Brings it out. Over the line. Hard wrist shot by Naslin. Laline reached out for the puck. In over the line. Over. Wait. Blocked. Out of their defensive end. Into the attacking zone. Crushed. Quick pass up. Brings it out. Over the blue line. He gets hit by Weinrich. Johnson corrals the puck. Passed across. Over the line. Shove. Scramble for the puck. Brings it out. In over the line. He gets shoved by Weinrich. Out of their defensive end. End to end. It's turned over by Sedin. Leveled. Played over center.
Both teams are tied at the end of regulation, so it'll have to be decided in overtime.
Bring non-perishable food items and receive a free team poster.
Overtime is where the stars shine brightest.
Let's see who'll step up and win this game.
The puck is about to be dropped. And the faceoff is won by Sillinger. Over the line. Lalim closes the door. Passed over. Brings it out. In over the line. He gets taken out by Nielsen. The Canucks have a man down, and they do not look happy about it.
It's awful when something like this happens to a player. I know that everyone in the building hopes that he'll be okay.
The action's about to start. Face-off won by Waite. Pass to the slot. Kluche stoned him cold. Over the blue line. And that's icing. We're ready for the face-off. And the face-off is won by Waite. Out of their defensive end. Into the attacking zone. Mowed down.
That'll keep them on their heels.
Brings it out. End to end. He gets hit by Salvador. One-times it. Lalim turned the shot away. Brings it out. Over the line. Hit. Out of their defensive end. In over the line. Crushed. Mellenby brings it out. Over the blue line. Big hit.
Jim, that was a real blow.
Brings it out. Into the attacking zone. Moved up. Over the line. Wrist shot from the left. Passed ahead. In over the line. He gets hit by Kachuk.
Now that's how you body check someone.
Bertuzzi! Lalim shut the door. He covers up. The players are lined up and ready for the faceoff. The faceoff goes to St. Louis. He gets bowled over by Sillinger. Over the blue line. Kluche made the save. Advances the puck out of their defensive end. Into the attacking zone. Knocked down. Sillinger. Over the line. Malik rocks him.
Oh, he corked him a good one.
Brings it out. In over the line. He gets rocked by McInnes. Coughed up by Keane. Brings it out. Over the blue line. Hard wrist shot by Savage. Turned away by Kluche. Into the attacking zone. Saved by Lalim. Savage out of their defensive end. Over the line. Taken out.
He felt that one right down to his skates.
Big hit. Over center. In over the line. Right in front. Kluche gets a leg on it. Brings it out. Over the blue line. Pushed off the puck. Brings it out. Played up into the attacking zone. The crowd's upset. No penalty call. Out of their defensive end. Checked. Brings it out. Over the line. It's played up by Bertuzzi. Brings it out. Over the blue line. Quick puck movement. Scramble. Wait. Into the attacking zone. Leveled.
He's not getting by that time.
Vancouver puts its third line out. It's found by Pronger. Advances the puck. In over the line. He gets checked by Lindgren. A lateral pass. Over the line. With a wrist shot. In the corner. He gets leveled by Cook.
That's an impressive hit.
Over the blue line. Shove. Brings it out. Into the attacking zone. Rocked.
That's one he'll remember.
Brings it out. In over the line. Out of their defensive end. Over the blue line.
Hit. I wouldn't want to have been on the receiving end of that one.
Brings it out. Over the line. Shove. Brings it out. Into the attacking zone. Passed across. Out of their defensive end. In over the line. Savage right in front. Kluche denied him. Over the line. He gets roughed up by McInnes.
He caught him napping with that hit.
Brings it out. Into the attacking zone. A shot from the slot by Sillinger. Turned aside. Brings it out. And it looks like we're going to have a fight here, Craig.
Now, I guess they had a disagreement of sorts and want to settle it right now. He bounced him around all over the ice in that one.
They're getting ready for the faceoff. The faceoff goes to the Blues. Over the blue line. Kluche made the save. Out of their defensive end. In over the line. Malik gets pushed off the puck. Wait, grabbed it. Naslund run over.
That was a full contact hit.
Laid out. It's passed across by Salvador. Over the line. Hard wrist shot by Waite. Saved by Kluche. Brings it out. Into the attacking zone. Shove. Naslund in the corner. Oh, off the cross. He scores! Off the post and in. It's over. St. Louis loses this game, and they're
on that goal. That was an absolute laser beam that found the back of the net.
From Vancouver, British Columbia, and for EA Sports, I'm Jim Houston.
And I'm Craig Simpson. Have a great one.
You